but my hopes are dimpled.
He won't love you.
If he's not you, then I don't want him to.
Welcome back to Doctor Who Makeup. Today's tutorial comes from Season 3, Episode 8, The Family of Blood. This is the second part in a two-parter episode series. The first one, Human Nature. I recreated Martha Jones's makeup, and now I'm going to be recreating Joan Redfern's look. She is a teacher and doesn't wear a lot of makeup within these two episodes, so I thought I would kind of put my own spin on it and just kind of apply a no makeup look. So that's what I'm doing, and it's going to be a talk-through tutorial today, so let's just get started. So since Joan's makeup is super simple, I'm actually going to be including my foundation and concealer routine in this tutorial. It's pretty much the same as a few videos ago or a few tutorials ago. Hard Candy Glamoflauge concealer in ultralight, and then my really dirty knockoff beauty blender that I got at Forever 21. So I'm just kind of applying this anywhere I need to conceal. Right now my skin is actually acting okay, which is awesome. But yeah, there's just a few places that I want to conceal. And then I quickly dab everything in. This is the only dabbing that I do. This concealer, I use it in some of my really big special effect tutorials that I've done where I really need my skin to be like white or really light, but for some reason it's the only concealer that I own that actually matches my skin tone right now. I don't think I've ever been this pale. I technically have like a warm skin tone, so I have like a lot of pinks and a little bit more orange in my skin color, so finding a completely perfect concealer is not really an option for me, but this one does the job. Okay, I'm pretty much good. I find that this part takes the longest out of everything because I want to make sure that my skin is completely even. Now I'm going to be putting on the CoverGirl Oil Control Foundation in 510 Classic Ivory with my Soho foundation brush. What I like to do is I like to just kind of dip it upside down, or tip it, and then take my brush. I know this is super unsanitary, but I'm the only one using it. I just kind of dip my brush in there, get a little bit on, and then start on my cheeks. My cheeks are the reddest part of my face other than my nose. My nose is always, not always running, but it's always super itchy, and so that's the first place where my makeup will rub off, is like the tip of my nose, and that's where I get the most redness, right there, especially along the sides and underneath, so I try to conceal that. And I do wear glasses on pretty much an everyday basis, so the makeup on my nose, I really have to set it, and it does come off, but it needs to be set well, better than the rest of my face. Okay, we're pretty much done the skin. Joan's not wearing a whole lot of foundation here, but her skin is pretty even, and so I'm just evening out my complexion. And there we go. Pretty much done. I do have a little blemish right there, but I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera. I don't really care about that blemish. I'm just trying to let it breathe. That way it doesn't form into anything else. Okay, next we want to set it. So I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Sandstorm with my Real Techniques powder brush. Just kind of getting a little bit, setting my entire face. This powder is a little bit too dark for me. And I know it's supposed to be like a translucent powder, but you can really see, not on camera when I'm wearing it. But since I am on camera today and I look a little bit different, I will just go with it. Okay, we're pretty much set. The only other area that I really want to set, and this is what I'm going to be using for it, the Essence All About Matte Powder. I've hit major pan on it, and honestly, I'm just trying to finish it up. So I'm using this with my Soho Jumbo Eyeshadow brush. It's one of my favorite brushes for this task. I take a little bit of it, and I set underneath my eye area. If I don't set it, my mascara will eventually fall and kind of like crease down there, and it's just awful. If I were to go back and tell my 16-year-old self something about makeup or something about beauty that I could fix at that point and like never have to forget about again, it would be to set my under eye area, because that was my biggest problem with makeup when I was 16 and 15 and 14 and 17, up until I was around 18 when I figured out how to actually do makeup. Okay, that's pretty much the face. I'm not going to be applying bronzer, but if I were, I would be putting on the NYX bronzer. It's actually a blush in Nude Tude. I don't think I need any today, But honestly, this guy is super great. It's pretty much my exact skin color, but it's just a little bit darker and adds a little bit of, I don't know, just a little bit of color and dimension. We're going for blush though, because her cheeks, Joan's cheeks, are very pink in certain scenes. So I'm applying the e.l.f. blush in Twinkle Pink. This is a newer blush that I purchased a few months ago. It is awesome. I love it. So I'm applying it with the Real Techniques blush brush, just kind of going in. It's not a super pigmented color, but it's a great color. It's matte, barely, I don't even think it has any shimmer in it at all, which is really nice. It's a little bit more of an orangey coral kind of pink, and if you want something that's kind of similar, that's the wrong one. The blush in Candid Coral has a little bit of like a yellow shimmer. This is Twinkle Pink, this is Candid Coral. Very similar, one's matte, one's shimmery. If you do want to add a little bit of shimmer to that look, put on some of that blush. But this one, we just want to kind of get it a good even amount on our cheeks. Really using up lots of this product because it's not a very pigmented blush, but it's good because you don't want it to be super pigmented, you know, and a whole bunch. Okay, that's pretty much it for blush. Now for eyes, back in the early 1912s, when was it? I think this episode was set in 1913. A lot of the women, especially the school teachers, would not wear makeup, so a little bit of blush, that's about it. For eyes, they wore pretty much nothing, but since I love makeup and I do want to put on some, I am going to be putting on a little bit of eyeshadow and mascara. So I'm starting off with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. This is my favorite. I have used this guy for years, not this exact one, but it's a great product. I'm not going to be using a whole lot of eyeshadow today, so you don't need a whole lot, but it does make your eyeshadow stay all day, and that's nice. Okay. Now, you could use whatever eyeshadow you want. I just happen to have this palette and I think it works really well with this look. It is the Urban Decay Naked Basics No. 2 palette. I'm going to be using, I think I'm using 3 of the shades. I'm going to be using the first 3 right there. So I'm going to start off with the Coastal Scents brush BR250. It's like the Pro Blending brush. I'm going to be going into Frisk, the third one, and just super lightly applying this to the outer crease. Like barely. It might work best if you use a clean brush, but this is not clean and it's in the same color family, so I'm really lightly applying this. Okay. That might be a little bit too dark. I know you probably can't see it at all on camera. If you need to lighten it up, take whatever brush you used to set your under eye area, or even your big powder brush, and just kind of blend it in. I'm going to be waiting till the end to blend it in. The next one I'm going to be taking is Stark, so the second one. This is a different brush. I have 2. This one's the one that I use for brown. This one's a little bit lighter. There's a little bit less on there. I'm going to be taking Stark and just applying this all over the lid. I don't want a super heavy coat, but just enough to kind of mattify the lid and just set the eyeshadow primer that we put on earlier. Now, if you have a deeper skin color or even a lighter skin color than me, this color will show up and it will be a little bit off, so you want to adjust the colors for your skin tone. This just works really well with mine, and since my skin tone is kind of the same as Joan's, this is what I'm assuming the shade ranges that they used for her makeup. Okay, next I'm going to be taking Skimp, the very first one, with the Coastal Scents brush BRC N51. This is an awesome brush. I've repurchased it a few times. Kind of dabbing it off, and I'm going to apply this on the inner corner. This guy is the only non-matte shadow in the entire palette. It has a little bit of shimmer. Kind of like in the first Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, they have the first one. I think it's called Venus, if I'm not mistaken. That one has a little bit of shimmer. That one's white. This one's a little bit more of a cream color. Now, we don't want a whole lot. We just want enough to kind of wake up the inner corners of our eyes. That's pretty much it for the eye makeup. I'm going to be applying a mascara. I'm going to be using a brown mascara, and the only one that I own that is brown is my Miss Manga by L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. This one's non-waterproof. I would suggest, well, I wouldn't suggest a waterproof mascara, but any brown one works. Or if you don't have brown, use black, but apply a very, very light coat. Pretty much just going to go over everything once. super lightly. Okay, there we go. That's mascara. Now, we can fill in our brows if you want. I don't know if I want to fill in my brows, but what I think I'm going to do instead of actually filling them in is I'm just going to shape them with my dirty eyebrow brush. There's a little bit of product left on here, which is great if you just want to kind of fill them in a little bit, but not apply a whole lot of powder. So that is what I'm going to do. Just kind of brush through them with the brush. And whatever product is on there, we'll kind of blend them in and make them uniform. I have a lot of issues with this eyebrow. It's not the right shape, doesn't have the right amount of hair in certain spots. It's the problem one. Okay, that's it for eyebrows. The last thing for this tutorial is lips. You can put on a lip gloss, you can put on a lip balm. I'm gonna be putting on a lipstick just because this is my favorite lipstick and I love it with this look. It's super neutral. Oops. Super neutral. It's matte-ish. It is the Wet n Wild, what is this? The Mega Last lipstick line. This one's in Bare It All 902C. Like, this is all the product that I have left in this lipstick tube. It's one of my favorite lipsticks. It is gorgeous. So, apply a little bit. You don't need a whole lot because it is pretty pigmented. This lipstick dries matte-ish. There's a little bit of shine to it, but it will dry matte. It is super pretty. I love this lipstick. I have another one. It was from the one of their limited edition lines, I think, like 2 years ago, 1 year ago. I have no idea, but it's called Sweet Cream. It's in their like their matte line, I guess. That one's pretty much the exact same color. This little cap broke, so I don't bring this one with me on a day-to-day basis, but I bring Sweet Cream, which is matte, and they pretty much the same color, same texture, same everything. They're both gorgeous. And that is the finished look. It's pretty much it. I like the way that it turned out. I think it looks great. Sorry that my hair is not in the best of shapes. I tried putting this bun in like 7 times and it's still not looking fine. The rest of my hair is great though. Ish. My hair's clean, but yeah, when it's clean, it doesn't work with any kind of hairstyles other than flat. So yeah, that is it for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again with another Doctor Who makeup tutorial. Bye.